it's a wonderful testament of the power of the organization in moving forward needed changes and recommendations, and we're very supportive of the Dean's Office for making the right changes as needed. So we have a strong collaborative relationship with the ESC, and I'm very proud of that. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm not going to go through the detailed committee work that Paul just mentioned. This will be a staff and faculty awards, so it's a time for celebration. And it is an opportunity to acknowledge the accomplishments of our faculty, major accomplishments, as well as of the school overall. So we'll take some time to discuss some of these. Before I start, I'd like all of us to take a moment of silence to, in memory of Erna Viterbi. As you know, Erna, along with her husband Andrew, made a historic naming gift to the school almost 11 years ago. At the time, that gift was the largest in the history of naming of any engineering school in the country. Erna cared deeply about our students, our faculty, and our staff. She will be missed greatly. She passed away in February, in the middle of February, and so I'd like to take one moment of silence in her memory. Thank you. There will be an event also honoring Erna at the university level. It's an event that will happen, I believe, on May 8th, and it will probably happen in this very room here. And so that will give us also the opportunity to do this as well. Today we have a couple of special guests here. I'd like to acknowledge them. I'd like to acknowledge Stuart Linsky, Vice President for Communications Program of Northrop Grumman, who is here, as well as Gina Keller, Project Director, who is here as well, Northrop Grumman. I see Mike Crowley is applauding there. He was at Northrop Grumman at some time. So, and I'd like to also acknowledge the presence here of Vijay Kumar. Vijay, stand up. Those of you who know Vijay, he was a professor here at USC. He got actually his PhD here at USC in electrical engineering. Then moved with his family to India, at the India Institute of Sciences in Bangalore, where he's professor, department chair. He was elected in the Indian National Academy of Engineering, and many, many, many other things. So Vijay, it's great to see you here. Also at your program, there is a list of the faculty and staff that can serve here at various milestones. As I acknowledge, I want to acknowledge one of them, and that person that deserves our warmest admiration and gratefulness is Georgia Lum, who we have completed 51 years of service. Let's do that. Georgia is retiring next week, May 4th, and she would have completed 51 years of service at the School of Engineering. She knows where the skeletons are buried. She knows where the bodies are buried, skeletons in the closet, and much, much more. I need an exit interview with you, Georgia. Thank you for your education, for all that you've done for us. We really appreciate it. And have a very good retirement. Mel Brewer also celebrating 50 years, but I don't think Mel is here today, is he? But we do express our warmest appreciation for his service at USC. Mel, professor of the Howell Professor of Electrical Engineering at USC University and the school in an incomparable way. USC Viterbi has made news in national news lately, and for all the right reasons. Hopefully. We want to change the conversation about engineering. And this is an initiative that is started at the National Academy, the American Society of Engineering Education, And we recently joined forces with the National Academy and with Lee Zlotov. Lee Zlotov is the creator of the Old MacGyver series. It's a program on television that has been very popular about engineering in some way, where the key actor was MacGyver and was a male figure. We want to create the new MacGyver, the next MacGyver. But the role will be played, the key role will be played by a woman engineer. So we have chosen this very aggressively with the Lee Zlotov and the National Academy. There's a competition that's going on right now. Those of you who want to provide a script on a plot for a TV series, go to thenextmacgyver.com. thenextmacgyver.com. That will be part of your evaluation next year. And you can participate in a competition for stories that may result into a blockbuster TV series. The top, I forget how many, maybe 20 or so, such plots will then be given a formal interview. There's a panel of judges, including our own Maya Makari, I believe, that will be there and judge the quality of these plots, along with Hollywood Studios and the Creative Artists Agency, CAA. They're very much interested in seeing whether this is something that it will go through. I know Martin Gunnarsson looks at me from the back there, because Martin has been very aggressive in helping promoting a good image of engineering through the media and so on and so forth. So Martin, I think some of your wish perhaps is becoming true in this way. If we are successful, then a series, a TV series, the next MacGyver or some title like that, will become hopefully popular and try to change perceptions about engineering, about the impact that engineering has in the world, in helping society solving big problems, and the role that all segments of society, and particularly women engineers, can have in making that change. And so we are working very hard to make that change. I'm proud to tell you that 33% of our undergraduates are women. 33%, when the national average is just 18%. The national average hasn't changed very much. It's been around 18% for a long time. Within the School of Engineering, this has changed every year. The freshman class last year was 39% women, and we are on track to have the same number this year as well. We're very supportive and very proud to try to make and change this conversation and change the participation on the engineers front. Because for me, diversity is not a political slogan. It is an essential ingredient for opportunity and innovation, and we strongly believe that. So, happily, we also have plenty of real-life female MacGyvers within our own school. So let me give you a couple of examples. The World Economic Forum recently named our own Andrea Armani a young global leader, making her one of only 2 American professors, academics, and the only engineer to receive this honor. Andrea, stand up to be recognized. I think that's Miriam Zanetti, along with her colleague Ketan Sevla, won an SF Career Award. And Stacy Finley, is this Stacy still there? Stacy? Stand up. Was named the 2015 Emerging Scholar by Diverse Issues in Higher Education. Our connection to the NAE goes beyond our Next MacGyver partnership. You may know that in the past decade, 10 members of our faculty were elected to the NAE, which is the highest honor in the engineering profession. Earlier this year, we had 3 Viterbi alums elected into the academy. Sukrati Guha, Material Science, Jim Xie, also Material Science alum, and USC trustee Ming Xie, the benefactor of Electrical Engineering Department, was also elected in the National Academy. We're very proud of their distinction. Actually, at USC Viterbi, we had long espoused and promoted another activity of the National Academy, the National Academy of Engineering Grand Challenges. we hosted here the second national summit in 2010. This was a summit dedicated to the promotion of the grand challenges. Those of you who don't know the grand challenges, after I have been saying about them for the last 5 years, you must be either in hibernation or you need a rehabilitation or some sort of training. When that summit ended in 2010, the question was, what was the next step? So we said we should create the Davos for engineering. The same thing that happened to the World Economic Forum, make it a global summit. And lo and behold, in 2013, that happened in London. The National Academy, the Chinese Academy, and the Royal Academy of Engineering did a global summit on grand challenges. I was in the organizing committee because we were part of this for a long time, and that was actually quite successful. Some of you were there. I recognize a few people who were there, and there is now a forthcoming second global summit in September in Beijing, in September of 2015. What's really interesting about this summit is there's going to be a student business plan competition around the grand challenges, which I am organizing on behalf of the NAE in some way. And that will be similar to the competition that we have for the MEPC, the Machine Entrepreneurship Prize competition, but it will be sort of the Beijing Olympics, so to speak. 5 teams from the United States, 5 teams from China, and 5 teams from UK will compete for the best business plan related to the grand challenges. USC will have an internal playoff. This Friday. This Friday. We have like 4 or 5 teams that are competing. Hopefully we'll get a strong team out of that. This team is going to go in China in September and participate in this global competition. It's the first competition of this type globally. I think we're very excited about it. Because obviously the students is the future. The academy, those of you who follow the demographics, is a really old society. Finally, I should say that a few years ago, together with Duke University and Olin College, we co-founded the Grand Challenges Scholars Program. It's kind of an elite program that leads not only for undergraduates that do not only research in the Grand Challenges, but global outreach, hands-on experience, interdisciplinarity, and a number of other attributes. This program started with 3 universities participating. It grew to about 20, and last March, there was a commitment to President Obama from 122 engineering schools across the country that committed to have and graduate every year 20 Grand Challenge Scholars from their universities. So this actually was hand-delivered to the President in a ceremony in the White House, which I had the honor to participate as well. We are very excited about this program. It attracts the best of our students, and it's actually a good attraction for students to come to USC Viterbi, because they're all excited about the specific aspects of that. So we are really excited to promote this type of program nationally. When you look at what we do, I think I mentioned this many times, we have a vision that they can summarize in 4 pillars. Again, I have said this many times, and I will repeat it because I believe this is important. So the 4 pillars that we have, what we do every day is the following: attracting talent and creating culture in the school, a culture of success and a culture of excellence. Attracting talent we do every year through new faculty hires, through new students. Talent is the name of the game. It also happens in the corporate world. I'm pretty sure Dr. Graham will agree with me 100%. That is the specific. That's the place that is the competition is happening right now. The second pillar is to keep adding value to our program. You cannot stand still. Programs in curriculum, new programs, and infrastructure, including space, which, as you know, is something that is a sore subject for many universities, not only for an urban place like USC, which is limited because of geography. The third component is research and scholarship. How do you lead globally to advance solutions to world challenges, to sustainability, to health, to security, to enriching learning. You know, engineering is a lot about challenges, and engineers how to solve challenges. I think we need to change the conversation there too. Not only solving challenges, but creating opportunities. I think that's another part that we have to talk about engineering. Engineering is not only solving problems. You don't just call your engineer to solve your plumbing problem. That creates opportunities and economic growth. That's an important part that we somehow have forgotten to advertise. This is something that engineers do every single day. And that's something we have to do. And finally, relevance. Engineering plus the catalyst for the innovation that fuels economic growth in Los Angeles and Southern California and the United States and why not the world. So we are engaged very much in entrepreneurship and innovation, promoting that. Ashish is driving the entrepreneurship at the undergraduate level. Peter, who was somewhere there, is doing the MEPC competition. Andrea Bells, I don't know if she's here, is pushing with the NSF Innovation Note. So all of that is an effort to actually put relevance in what we do. So talent, culture, value, scholarship, and relevance. I think these are the things that we do every single day, and this is something that we put all our effort and our energy in order to accomplish that. Having said that, I have to go back to my original theme, which is the day to recognize the accomplishments that we celebrate. I will make some noteworthy distinctions about the school first, and then we go to the individual awards. For the third year in a row, USC Viterbi was ranked #1 in the US News World Report for the online graduate computer information technology program, Kelly. USC Games, together with the Cinematic Arts, in collaboration with the Cinematic Arts, was ranked again the #1 games program in the country for the 6th consecutive year. That's another remarkable achievement. We were ranked the top 10 in the graduate rankings for the US News and World Report. And I must tell you that I only consider good rankings the ones that give us high level. The other rankings I don't care about. Those rankings that put us in the top 10, 1, 2, whatever, fantastic rankings. Yes. For the 4th consecutive year, the USC computer programming team with David Campy leadership, mentorship, won first place in what I call the Pac-12 South competition. Now, you know the Pac-12 South is UCLA, Utah, and Colorado, and places like that. This Pac-12 includes Caltech, okay, and UCSD, and all the sort of other heavyweights in the area of computer science. So we won this contest for the 4th consecutive year. That's an amazing accomplishment, and David, congratulations, NCS, for all that. Yes. About a week ago, a USC team won the first annual Deloitte Foundation Cyber Threat Competition. This is a competition that is part of our ITP program that is growing exponentially fast. And I'm very happy to tell you that they won the national competition. The teams they competed against include teams from CMU, Virginia Tech, places that are good. It's not, it was not a trivial competition. If Joe Greenfield is here, he deserves a huge amount of credit for being able to do that. Kudos to ITP for doing that. Speaking of entrepreneurship, I mentioned before the award from the National Science Foundation to establish here an I-Core node. So this is an innovation core node that the National Science Foundation established in Southern California. USC is the center of that. It's in partnership with the Marshall School and also in partnership with UCLA and Caltech. So let me give you a little anecdote here. UCLA tried 2 years ago on their own. They did not win it. Caltech tried last year. They didn't win it. We tried it the year before, and we won it. And so I'm going to tell you that this is a great win for the university and for entrepreneurship in the area. It's a 3-year grant, which hopefully will be extended, and places USC at the center of the emerging technology ecosystem in Southern California. Additionally, we just launched D-Health, a digital innovation lab created by the HT at USC. This is a new program. We have health, technology, and engineering at USC in partnership with the Keck School of Medicine. And Ashish created the Hacker House. Stay away from it if you're not in that business. It's a creative space allowing would-be student entrepreneurs to build products and companies. But I think they do more than that, right?
They try to.
The Hacker House. And this is over at the Annenberg Complex, right?
Adams and Figueroa.
That's right. Thank you. Talking about talent, I'm excited to tell you that this year we had more than 10,000 applications for 410 freshmen for fall 2015. This week is the week in which everyone gets to make a decision, and so the competition is ferocious. The D-Day is May 1st, where the students have to declare where they're going to go. And so we hope that we'll be able to not only meet our target but exceed it. Likewise, graduate applications for fall 2015 at the master's program were more than 13,000, which is an all-time high. And finally, as part of the university's $6 billion campaign, as I mentioned before, if you haven't heard the $6 billion campaign of the university, you must be sleeping. The university has raised about $4 billion, so 2/3 of the way to the campaign. Our own target in engineering was $500 million, which we have to raise by within 3.5 years from now. We have raised $275 million, and so we passed the halfway mark. So we are very aggressively promoting the development team. Actually, I'm going to Texas tonight to get my hat out and try to. And so it's for a good cause, and it's to make sure that we get the added value that I mentioned, and also have the resources to attract talent, to be able to do better research and also better entrepreneurship. So this is a significant part of what we do. Max Mejia said that to all the deans, 100% of your time will be spent on fundraising, and the other 100% will be spent on other things. So I have 200% at least. In recent months, and these are distinctions that I mentioned about our faculty since last October or so, many of our faculty have won a number of distinctions, so I will announce their names, and if they're here, they can. I'm not going to stop for that acknowledgement, but certainly it would be very nice to hear their names. Nora Ayamian is here. She was a under 40 professor who inspires. Nora Ayamian, Veronica Eliasson, and Eric Johnson won the USC Hannah Reisler Mentoring Award. That's an internal award at the university. Verokos Nevis and Alan Wilner were elected to the National Academy of Inventors. Also, Verok won the grand prize in the 2014 Create the Future Design Contest by the NASA Tech Briefs Media Group. Are you going to create a future, Verok? Daniel Marcoux and Kevin Knight were fellows of the Association for Computational Linguistics. Daniel Lidar was elected as IEEE Fellow. Sol Bolong, a SciAm Fellow. Victor Prasanna won the IEEE Computer Society Walter McDowell Award, one of the big awards of the society. Masoud Pedram also won the IEEE Circuits and Systems Society Technical Achievement Award, a big award in the society. Jim Moore, our Vice Dean for Academic Affairs, also is serving as President of the Institute of Industrial Engineers. President Moore, congratulations. Lucio Soderman won first place in the ASE National Construction Competition. Mike Kastner won the 2015 TMS Structural Materials Division Distinguished Engineer Award. Sylvain Roux won the Excellentissime Award from Technion University for our iPodia program. John Slaughter, Presidential Award for Excellence in Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Mentoring, one of 14, I believe, honored by President Obama this year. Ethan Katz-Bassett and Ramesh Govindan they received the Applied Networking Research Prize in the Internet Engineering Task Force of the Internet Society. John C. Pang of ISC, the Informs Best Paper published between 2010 and 2012 in Energy, Natural Resources, and the Environmental section. Terry Sanger and Jim Whalen were elected AIMB Fellows. Jeremy Barbich won an Okawa Foundation Research Grant. Today, as we speak, there will be 3 awards awarded to from the Society of Petroleum Engineers to 3 of our faculty. Fred Aminzadeh, the Formation Evaluation Award. Christian Zessen, the Reservoir Description and Dynamics Award. And Benam Jafarpur, Management and Information Award, in addition to winning the Orange County Outstanding Engineering Education Award. So these 3 folk fellows, along with Raj Shagi, are in a competition over there in Orange County. The list goes on and on. Warmest congratulations to all our faculty who won this award and distinctions. And now, I'd like to introduce Vice Dean of Administration, Linda Rock, who will start the individual award presentation with the staff awards. Linda.
Thank you, Jonas. Thanks, everyone. Good afternoon. First, I want to thank the many faculty and staff who took time this spring to nominate their colleagues for awards. I also want to thank the committee members who dropped everything at a moment's notice to read the packages and make recommendations to the dean. There are only a few staff that receive awards today. I want to thank all of the staff for what they do every day. As Donna said, I think we are part of the foundation of the colors that allow the faculty and the students to do the great things that they do here. So we have a wonderful staff which is widely acknowledged across the university, and I want you all to know how to appreciate it, even though we can only give a few awards every year. So the first award is the Staff Early Career Award. It's for people that have been with the school between 1 and 3 years, and they are doing well above what we would normally expect from somebody who's new to their job. We had 4 terrific nominees this year. The person who was selected, and I think we should add a snare drum, please, drum roll, is Dana Morita in Viterbi IT. I hope she's here today. There she is. And embarrass you a bit. But for good reason. Thank you. All right, so Dana is one of the programmers with Viterbi IT. She's been with the Viterbi School for 2 years. She's part of our IT Information Services group that's responsible for creating, updating, and maintaining the applications and tools that are developed in-house here at Viterbi. In particular, Dana has responsibility for a number of the applications that are on the My Viterbi portal that many of us regularly use, including PhD Application Viewer, numerous specialized tools for Viterbi Admissions and Student Affairs, GAP, Marketing and Communications, ITP, Advancement, and Teams Office, as well as a number of student support services such as the D-Clearance Request Manager, Director Research Management, Grader TA applications, and on. That's only a piece of what's on the Viterbi portal, too, so if you haven't checked it out, you should. It's a pretty cool site. And Dana's taking care of quite a bit of it for us. In her role, she works with various department users to refine and improve existing tools and create new applications to meet the needs of the users here. Her nominators describe her as someone who's able to take our ideal visions for a system and make them a reality through her coding magic. She's excited about her work and dedicated, someone who cares deeply about what she does and works to improve the tools quickly and efficiently. What another nominator wrote, that Dana is always willing and able to solve a problem, make an improvement, or help out as needed. She does this with a positive attitude and a smile. Yet another wrote that Dana's positive attitude is embedded in the code that she writes and is shared with all faculty, staff, and students when they use an application on My Viterbi. So everyone, please join me in congratulating Dana. extraordinary and routinely above and beyond expectation. We received 7 nominations for this award, and while all of them are outstanding employees, only one could be selected. This year, the Excellence Award goes to, pause for a second. I'm not funny like my client is old Billy Suspense. Liesl de Leon, the Director of Student Affairs. Liesl's been with the CS department for almost 7 years, and though she left the school for a few years in between, she was also a student services staff member in A&E for about 2.5 years some time ago. Since Liesl joined CS, she's had a tremendous impact on student services during a time when the student population grew enormously. She began as the second advisor for the growing master's population, where she hit the ground running, but after 6 months in that role, the PhD advisor in CS went out on a medical leave, and the department asked Liesl to take over the PhD advising in addition to her full master's load. Liesl eagerly accepted the new challenge, quickly learned the PhD processes, making them more efficient and streamlined along the way, all the way continuing to advise a very large contingent of master's students. She did this for over a year, 2 PhD recruiting cycles, before the department was able to fill this position with the person who had gone out on leave. At that point, she became the advisor for the PhD program at CS, and then last fall, she was promoted to the Director of Student Affairs at CS, where she oversees advising for all the students, PhD masters and undergraduates, supervises 4 advisors, and continues in her role as the PhD advisor. Her nominators wrote, I love these really good phrases. These speeches write themselves when the nomination packages are good. That she can be relied on to take on everything thrown at her with unwavering focus, reasoned independence, and complete accountability. She has a sharp mind, high energy, and an infectious sense of humor. Her opinions, whether written or verbal, are precise, well-reasoned, and conveyed with conviction. She thinks fast, writes fast, speaks fast, and has a way of understanding what is essential in even the most rambling and convoluted situation. I think if all of us could be that, we'd be perfect staff employees. Another nominator wrote that Liesl does an extraordinary amount of work at a level of sustained excellence that I've seldom seen. All of this is done with a smile and the kind of warmth that one commonly associates with smaller institutions that move at a more hectic pace. So, for her day-to-day, outstanding efforts and passion for her work, Liesl's most deserving, I think, of the award for excellence. Please join me in congratulating her.
One, two. One, two. Good. Thank you. Does she have to pay
Congratulations again to Dana and Liesl. We're most fortunate to have you both at the Viterbi School. Now I turn the program over to Vice Dean Viterbi, who will announce the faculty research awards. Thank you.
This is always so exciting. I like to keep us here for another couple of hours, so I will strive for that. I hope you're looking forward to it. I was so sad to miss it last year, so I'm going to speak for last year and for this year. Okay? Excellent. Okay. Not really. So I have the honor of telling you, in a hopefully somewhat entertaining way, who the awardees are of 3 research awards. We have the Junior Research Award, Senior Research Award, and the Youth Inspired Award. And these are selected from a very large pool, because what we do is not only do we seek nominations every year from worthy faculty, and there are many, but we also keep them from the previous 3 years to save people work. So there's a very large pool of excellent people, and the committee, the secret committee that evaluates this is very brave and intrepid, and they're instructed by the dean that they must never ever again allow awards to be shared. I used to think that was a great way to slip more awards in, but after a few years of this, I was told no. I was probably told no a few times, but then finally it had to stop. So there could be 1 winner per award, and very big thanks to the people who make these decisions. And the major perk of winning one of these awards is that you get to be the secret committee who then decides who will win the awards next year. So hold your breath now, that's a major perk. Okay, so let's see. What I'm going to try and do, as usual, is I'm going to tell you about the awardee, and I won't tell you which award it is. So at least with the first two, you can kind of guess which award and who it might be. So that's a lot of fun. And I try not to say the gender either, which is hard. And now, increasingly, it could be either, right? So as there are more women in the school. Just like the Oscars. Okay! So this awardee's research involves two interesting and cool areas. The first is engineering by the way, I love doing this because I understand everything about the research. So if I stumble into words, it's not because I don't understand it. Never. The first of his research. It's hers. Oh, okay, sorry. That was unintentional. Is engineering microfluidic devices with discrete components, sort of similar to clickable Lego blocks, which earned the lab the cover of a recent issue of PNAS, which is highly distinguished. The second area is synthesis, properties, and dynamical behavior of liquid membranes, their phases, structures, and integral protein complexes. This work has earned the O&R Young Investigator Award, an invitation to the NAE Frontiers of Engineering Symposium, NIH support, highly competitive, as well as other funding agencies, and also has garnered the awardee a successful startup based on this technology. The nomination also points out specifically that the awardee is a kind, humble person who prefers to work in the lab than engage in self-promotion. And this is all before tenure. So I think this is really impressive. That kind of gives you a clue as to which award it might be. And because this is such a fast-paced and productive person, we kind of did the award slightly after tenure. But nonetheless, it is still the Junior Research Award, and we're proud to present it to Noah Monster.
Right here, in the corner.
Oh, good.
Right here. In front of the podium. In front of the podium. In front of the podium.
There you go.
1, 2. Good. One more. 1, 2. Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you.
Is that too long? I have two more. So, I know what you're thinking, so that's out of the way. So now, we have two awards, and it's all going to be old people, right? But no, we can't say that anyway. Age challenge. So, there is a youth-inspired award, and that could be given to any state of youthfulness. So, so you don't know what the next one is. You really don't. Because this awardee is an international leader and pioneer in ultra-high-speed wireless communications employing multi-antenna technologies, and this work has impact in academia, but also in industry, and on worldwide standard bodies, and in fact on wireless products that we use every day. The technologies include cooperative multi-point removal of bottlenecks from cellular systems, hybrid selection of MIMO, something, for best antenna selection, and most recently multiplexing radio beams for use in data centers. So this awardee has published 4 books, including a popular textbook, over 420 papers, and an H index of 64, not that we care about indices, but we do, has 80 patents and 70 industrial standard contributions. And this really validates the real-world usefulness of this person's research. The work has been recognized by the IEEE Eric Summer Technical Fields Award for Communications and the IEEE Think Best Paper Award. And, indeed, it's a very nice person also. So, what do you think it is? It could be Senior Award or it could be Youth Inspired. Okay, Youth Inspired, should we have voting? It is Youth Inspired. So, indeed, it is a great pleasure and honor to present the Youth Inspired Research Award to Andy Mullish. Right. Yes, so Andy had to be away. So Alan Muller, who was his nominator, is going to accept the award for him and take pictures, but not get the check.
Come over in front of the podium. Person ID. two. Thank you. All right. Very nice.
Well, my family couldn't get to check. Okay, so only one left. What's the award? Senior, good. Someone paying attention. Okay. So this awardee has a long and distinguished 41-year history at USC. So it's 41 years. So if you look at the back of your program there, the name will not be there because it's not 40. So this is all very carefully orchestrated. Actually, the nomination was so long and dense, and then they didn't even use 1-inch margins, that it was really hard to do a short summary. So I will go on for an hour. No, it's going to be. I'm going to keep it short, but I mean it's an amazing list of contributions. The contributions have actually spanned 3 separate research areas: seismic signal processing for petroleum exploration, higher order statistics and their use in signal processing, and fuzzy sets and systems. And in each area, the awardee and the students have received Best Paper Awards and separate IEEE Society Awards. So it's sort of like having 3 careers at once, all in parallel. More than 500 publications, H-Index 67, 9 books, lots and lots more. And what's particularly impressive is that this awardee's research has not slowed down. So over the 41 years, if we in fact look, and we can from the nomination, at the plots of both the number of publications and the citation for those publications, even just for the, let's say, second half, the last 20 years, we see this very steady, I kind of love plots, you should see this. I mean, the numbers are really, really high and they're very steady. So this is at 41 years. It's just continued, steady, high level of impact. And that's truly impressive. It's exactly the model that we want for the senior research in the school. So the awardee continues to produce well-recognized and highly cited papers with really high impact. And so, even though I could take an hour to summarize more, I will stop now and just say that we're extremely proud to present the Viterbi Senior Research Award to Jerry Mendel.
Gotta go over here. Absolutely. Okay, wonderful. 1, 2, 3. Look here, please. 1, 2, 3.
One more, one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right. Fantastic. Congratulations.
And now I'm happy to introduce and bring Jim Moore to the podium. While he dresses, I will say that Jim will present the Northrop Grumman Excellence in Teaching Award, and he will also present the Dean's Award for Teaching Excellence.
Only such a hard act to follow. So, you see the number of excellent nominations. There's a single pool of nominations, and individuals can be nominated for both or either award. We keep the nominations on file for 2 years. So if your nominee is not one, all is not lost. You will be reminded that you've nominated this individual, and you'll be invited to refresh the award. Don't have to refresh the award. We'll still consider it, but the option will be there. As Vice Superintendent pointed out, we're going to award 2 awards today. The Viterbi School's 2015 Northrop Grumman Corporation Excellence in Teaching Award. That presentation will be made by Stuart Linsky, who's with us today. Stuart, would you join me up here? Okay. So Stuart will both announce the award and make the presentation. Following that, I'll award the 2015 Dean's Award for Innovation in Teaching and Education. That award is funded by the Dean. It's possible to be senior and be innovative, but wouldn't you know it, sometimes it turns out the junior people are a little more likely to be innovative. I don't know why that happens. A few words about Stuart. We're happy you could join us. Stuart's the Vice President of Communication Programs for Space Systems Division of Northrop Grumman Aerospace Systems. In this role, Stuart has responsibility for all communication programs. These systems are our nation's global protected SATCOM capabilities for the joint forces and allies. Previous to his current assignment, Stuart was Vice President of Protected SATCOM Programs, responsibility for delivery of AEHF payloads and MILSTAR operations. Prior to that, he was the Vice President of Satellite Communications. He's had many posts in his career, a long trajectory of ever-increasing scope and responsibility. Stuart earned a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Northeastern University and a master's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Southern California's Shea Department. He also earned a master's degree in business administration from the Marshall School of Business, but does not appear to have been hampered in any way by that. He's a member of Phi Beta Pi, Beta Kappa Nu, and Beta Gamma Sigma. He's received the 1999 and 2003 Distinguished Patent Award, the CEO Leadership Award, and the Chairman's Award for Innovation. He's been granted 29 U.S. patents. Stuart, podium is yours.
Well, thank you, Jim, and I am very pleased to be here to represent Northrop Grumman at USC, and I'm especially pleased for myself to be here back in my old stomping grounds. As Jim said, I spent a lot of time here learning. My experience in the classrooms here really have shaped me both as an engineer and as an executive. The relationships that I have with both my alumni friends as well as the professors have just made a very big difference in both my career and my life in general. So I'm very, very grateful to USC for everything that it's given me. I think we all know the quality of the education at USC is top notch based on the graduates that we have in Northrop Grumman. We do hire quite a number of people from USC, as you can imagine, being local. But this year is going to be another big year because we're really opening up the hiring effort, and we expect to bring on a good number of folks from USC. So I'm really looking forward to that. We've got scores actually of interns coming this summer. Really enjoy having the interns here. So that's why it's a great honor for me to present the Viterbi School of Engineering 2015 Northrop Grumman Excellence in Teaching Award to Professor John Michelle Marek. The award was started more than 3 decades ago to recognize the faculty based on very specific criteria, including the quality of the classroom teaching. I'm going to keep talking about you. Contribution to the curriculum development, innovation in pedagogy, and of course, high personal and professional standards. By all these measures, Dr. Marek is an exemplary professor. Not only does he have a commanding understanding of the content in those courses that he teaches in the field of biomedical engineering in general, but he has an active interest in using innovative techniques to enhance his students' achievements. Perhaps most well known for developing and implementing active learning approaches, most notably the flipped classroom concept. It's a form of blended learning which brings a highly interactive engagement to the classrooms. He has his students learn content online and then in the classroom problem to solve. So I think that's a very, very innovative approach and well earning the name of flipping. So I think that's a terrific approach. And increasing the engagement is really important. And it works. Based on data that's been collected, it's been a smashing success. Both the students' feedback has been tremendous. They really enjoy it. And the grades, averages, as well as the entire distributions are moving to the right. And that's got to be the goal, I think, of all professors. So kudos to Dr. Marek for successfully engaging students on very difficult subjects. that's a big challenge, I think, as everybody knows. And to everyone's benefit, Dr. Marek isn't stopping there. He's going to continue to expand these techniques and bring them to new classrooms as well as to new classes. He's also creating the assessment instruments, the rubrics, the audiovisual learning material that's going to support this flipped classroom idea. And it's my pleasure to now say congratulations to Dr. Marek. Thank you.
Very good. Congratulations again.
Stuart, thank you very much. I was a little worried, frankly, the committee was going to give Jean-Michel both awards. That was on my mind. But excellent work. Congratulations. I have just realized that I've left some of my remarks back on my desk. Though I do remember who gets the next award. And so I'm now in the position of needing to make that award without being able to explain exactly why. But the award is going to come as a surprise to no one at all. The recipient of the 2015 Dean's Award for Innovation in Teaching is Sven Koenig. That's the Dean's Award, so that's a somewhat more modest judge.
Okay, one more. Ingleby Award, so it doesn't get glare. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, so now I would like to announce the Viterbi School of Engineering Award for Service. We do two of them, one for staff and one for faculty. This year's Dean Staff Award for Service goes to Sudha Kumar. Sudha was at USC for more than 25 years. She helped make USC Viterbi a stronger school of engineering through her hard work, wonderful attitude, and unstinted dedication in 2 different continents. Sudha joined the Department of Computer Science in 1988 as an administrative assistant, when BJ was AYSO referee, if I remember right. Within a few years, she was promoted to business manager in the Department of Civil Engineering. Later, she worked as a marketing manager at DEN and as a business manager in computer science. In spring 2003, Sudha returned to her native India with her family. She was gone, but certainly not forgotten. When we created the Office of Masters and Professional Programs in 2006, Kelly Gullis had an inspiration and reached out to Sudha to rejoin our Viterbi team. Thankfully, she did, and has served in that role masterfully since 2006. Sudha is our ambassador in India. She serves as our on-the-ground recruitment staff in India, establishes relationships with Indian universities, assists, cajoles, advises, and agonizes with student recruitment. Sudha has flourished in this role over the past 9 years. Her duties expanded to include alumni relations and to assist the USC Viterbi School with high-level delegations visiting India. Based on the success of having Sudha in our Indian embassy, we established similar embassies in China. Sudha, at USC Viterbi, we are very lucky to have you. Thank you for all that you do.
this is a surprise, but thank you for, USC has been my home for many, many years. It's the first place I started working, and it's been very close to my heart, and I'm very honored and grateful to be here. Thank you.
Take your picture. Yeah. One, two. Thank you.
Hold on, I need to take a selfie. Because I have a lot of Indian followers.
He's hoping the Twitter following will go up. Thank you. Thank you.
And finally, the last but certainly not least award is the Dean's Faculty Award for Service. This year, I'm very proud to bestow it to John Slaughter. John is a giant in the world of academia. During his distinguished career, John has led 2 universities, the University of Maryland and Occidental College, which he transformed during his 11-year tenure into one of the most diverse liberal arts colleges in America. John also had the National Science Foundation, becoming the first African American to do so. This highly decorated scholar is a member of the National Academy of Engineering and the Hall of Fame of the American Society for Engineering Education, the Fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, the American Association for the Advancement of Science, the Institute for Electrical and Electronic Engineers, and the Tau Beta Pi Honorary Engineer Society. John holds honorary degrees from more than 25 institutions and has received numerous awards, including the Martin Luther King Jr. National Award in 1997, the NAE Arthur M. Buke Award in 2004, while he also served as president of NACME. Luckily for us, John joined USC Viterbi and the Rossier School of Education in 2010. In the ensuing years, he has examined the intersection between engineering and education with a focus on what has become his lifelong quest of increasing minority participation in the science and engineering fields. John has contributed immensely to our school by pioneering efforts in the promotion of diversity across the school. He's been a valued advisor to me and the faculty of issues of higher education, in supporting educational innovation across the school in programs like the DE, iPodia, and the Freshman Academies, and in increasing the profile of USC Viterbi in the national scene. John, we are proud to have you in our faculty, and thank you for your dedication and service.
John, thank you so much. My mother would have been so proud today. It is a great pleasure to be a part of this school. I am so proud of the commitment that is shown by Viterbi, by our dean, in terms of addressing the critical issues facing our society today, including, as all of us are aware, the importance of improving the picture for inclusion and involvement of marginalized persons who have historically been underrepresented in the fields of science and engineering. And anything that any of us can do to help advance that will mean a great deal for our society, our nation, and the world. Thank you so much for this, and I'm very honored to have to receive it. Thank you.
One, two, three.
No, don't. check doesn't look good. Maybe take it out of your pocket, doesn't it?
Just steal it away from you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, this concludes our program today. Before we go, I wanted to thank Jennifer Alvarado. To organize today's event with their unparalleled skill. We are on time. Thank you for coming, and thank you again for this wonderful event today.